Hi everyone, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc. So today I have a fun fold card for you that I'm going to call a Peekaboo Trifold. This was actually a card that I based off of a swap card that I got many years ago. I have been doing a big purge of my craft room, and one of the things I went through was all of my old swap cards, and I came across this really adorable frog card, and I don't know the creator of this card. There wasn't anything on the back, but it's one that I've held on to for years just because I just thought it was so cute. And I just decided to rework it with some newer supplies. So when you look at it closely, you can see the little frog. You can just see him through that window. And then you open it up again, and you're going to see it says, "How are things at your pad?" And we've got another cute little frog over here. And I think that this is such an old card because I believe these were wheels, like the little roller wheels, if you remember those. You put the ink in, it was a little wheel, and you wheeled it across, and I think that's what those are. So this is probably 10 to 15 years old. So this stamp set is not available. So if you love it, I'm sorry, but it is not available. And then when you open up, you can see where the frog is that you were able to see through that window. So it's just a really cute and funky card design. And so even though it's an older card, I thought it'd be really fun to update it. So the first one I'm going to show you, I did this one last week and I shared this on my blog. And this is that new Sharing Sunshine stamp set, and I think it is just absolutely adorable. If you haven't gotten this one yet, I've got some more projects to show you with it, and I think you're definitely going to want to add it to your collection. So I also used the Give It a Whirl dies on this. So I used the Give It a Whirl dies to do the circle here, and then also that scallop circle. And then the little hello comes from a set, very popular set called Biggest Wish. That's another one I think you definitely would want to have. Now on the inside, you can see over here, I've done a little panel that says, "Hoping your birthday is filled with all the best things." That comes from a Sunshine Sayings, I believe. I'll have to double check that. And then over here, I used the Basics Borders die to create this little cloud. And these clouds are from the Give It a Whirl die also. And then I used my Layering Circles dies to create that little rainbow effect. And then when you open it further, you can see our little sunshine over here and our little window that he peeks through. So just a cute card. But I want to go ahead and show you what we're making today so that you kind of get the big picture as we go along. So this one I am using the Turtle Friends stamp set. And you can see I've got the Pattern Party host paper on here. And then when you open it up, if you can't tell, it says "It's time to celebrate" right there. And then you open it up and it says "You are turtly loved. Happy birthday." And then you open it over here and we've got our little turtle that peeks through. Okay, so we're going to start by cutting all of our paper, so I'll give you all those measurements. If you miss any of the measurements, do not fret. I will have the link to the blog post with this card in it in the descriptions, as well as the link for the blog post with this card as well. So if you want any of those products, they are available in my online store, and I do have those linked below and in the blog posts that coordinate with them. So let's get started with this one. So I've already cut my paper. Here are my measurements and my little scribbles, but I'm gonna put, like I said, I'll put that in a blog post so you can see it better. But what I love about this is it actually is just cutting your cardstock in half lengthwise. So it's 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then you score it at 3 inches and 7 inches. And then you're going to go ahead and fold on those lines. I'm going to use my bone folder for that. And we're just going to fold that up and fold it back. So we want to make sure all of those lines are really good. one get scored wrong? No, it didn't. Oh, here we go. No, what happened? Oh, I know what happened. It's 3.5 and 7 inches. Sorry. So let me cut another one. Sometimes that happens when you create a video. So give me just a moment. I'll show you exactly how I did it. So let's go here. I've got my Granny Apple Green cardstock. I guess I was meant to show you how to do this. And we're going to cut it at 4¼ inches lengthwise. Thanks for being patient with me. Sometimes that happens. I get a little carried away before I get started. And then we're going to score it here at 3½ inches. And then I'm going to open up the long arm here. I'll turn it this way so you can see. And we'll score it at 7. So 4¼ by 11 and score it at 3½ and at 7. All right. So that's done. Yay. All right. So we're going to fold that again. Grab that bone folder one more time. And that folds over this way. And the reason why I knew that was wrong is because I didn't have this little edge here. So when you fold it, it opens up like that. Okay. But we'll have plenty of time to work on that. So that's the Granny Apple Green, 4¼ by 11, 3½ and 7 inches is what you're going to score it at. And then your back panel piece, I did this in Pacific Point, and it measures 4¼ by 4½. And you'll see that just layers right on there. And what's nice about this will fit in one of those, one of our standard envelopes. Okay, so the next piece of the puzzle, I've got 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. You can mix and match these or do these the same, however you like. And these measures 3¼ inches by 4 inches. I've got 2 of those. And then I have 2 basic white pieces that also measure 3¼ by 4. So all of those are going to go on those inside panels there. I had just a scrap piece of paper left over, and I ended up implementing this into my design. So this piece here measures 1½ by 3½ inches. And then I have another piece of basic white that is 1½ by 2½, and it layers onto a piece of Pacific Point that is 1¾ by 2¾ And I've already die cut these, but these are scallop circle frames. And these are from the Give It a Whirl dies. So you want to cut those also. All right, so now that we've got all of this, we're going to get started with our stamping. And let me grab my Stamparatus. Especially on something like this, I definitely want to make sure I don't screw it up. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to stamp my turtle, my large turtle. And I don't know if you've seen this whole stamp set, but it is absolutely adorable. It's called Turtle Friends, and it does have a punch that will punch out that large turtle. So I'm going to put him right here at this bottom corner. Push that over. And I am using Jet Black Memento ink. I'm just going to ink that up. And then I also want to do the It's Time to Celebrate on his shell. So I've got a little dot on that. So I'm going to line that up in there. Put that right there. And make sure that goes right. I think I missed the S there, so let's just do that one more time. Just to make sure he's perfect. Okay. And then the other thing on him is I stamped some streamers. So let me grab that stamp because I've got it here separate. And I'm just using some of the colors that are already in that paper. So I'm going to use the Pacific Point, and I'm going to stamp that, and I'm going to stamp it off. So let me just grab my scrap paper here, and I'm going to put some little streamers. Let me do them this way. some little streamers here, because I don't want these to be super bold. I just want them to be kind of light on there. And then we'll clean that. Let me grab my chamois. I don't know if any of you have a chamois or not, but this thing works great. I keep mine in a little plastic case, and that way I've got it kept off of other things. I find that otherwise I end up letting it land on something and then I destroy a project. So again, I'm going to stamp off. This is Real Red. Just going to put it right over here. Use my Stampin' Chamois. Get that extra ink off of there. And then I'm also doing pumpkin pie on that one. So again, I just didn't do those full strength because I didn't want them to take away from our little turtle guy. He needs all the attention on him. Okay, so that panel is done except for coloring our turtle. I'm going to do him with some Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to use the Granny Apple Green, the light one. I think that's the light one. If it's not, that's okay. And I'm just going to color this shell. So I'm doing the light first, and I'll show you how I get the shading on this so that you can see. Let me go ahead and zoom this in so you can see a little better. There we go. And get him colored here. I'm not too worried about these edges because I'm going to go over those with the dark one. So I'm just going around the edge of the turtle with the dark Granny Apple Green. And I also know I'm going to go ahead and color his toes with the dark Granny Apple Green too. So just do that. And then I'm going to go back in with the light Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to kind of pull that darker into the center. And as I'm doing that, I'm just going to leave that center, kind of that fade into the light so that it highlights that. So we're just going to bring that in. And that way he's got just that little bit of light there in the middle of his shell. And then I found that soft sea foam looked great with this. So I went ahead and colored his body with the light soft sea foam. I'll go ahead and do that. And I just think he's so cute. Perfect, 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 right? We'll get him there. And then if you wanted to add a little more shadow to him, which I'll just kind of use the darker here. I'm just going to put a little bit under his shell. And over here on the side. And just around there. Okay. So you can see how our little inside panel there looks. Okay. We've got one other little inside panel to do. So let me find it. So this one right here, I'm going to stamp. I'm going to put this here because I want to make sure. Whoop, I can't see that. Sorry. Let me pull back out here for you. There we go. All right. Just wanted to make sure you could see all of that. Let me try to get it out a little further here. There we go. Oh, maybe too far. Okay. All righty. Let me get some of this out of my way. There we go. All right. So I want one of these little turtles, the little itty bitty turtles. I want him to walk right along here. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp him in the Memento Black. And let me take that off of there so you can see a little better. There we go. That helps, doesn't it? All right, we're going to just stamp him there. Isn't he cute? Take him off. And then I've got the little shell here. And this will save us a little bit of time with coloring. We're going to go ahead and do it in the Granny Apple Green. And So it kind of looks like the dark Granny Apple Green when we do it. So how cute is that? So I know you probably can't see him very well. There he is. All right. And then I want Happy Birthday. So I'm going to put that right there. And stamp that one. And there we go. And again, I'm just going to color this turtle real quick. Use my Stampin' Blends. Okay. And on this one, I'm not doing as much. I'm just doing the light colors of each. So again, just the light Granny Apple Green and the light soft Seafoam to get some color on him. He didn't need much. Okay. So you can see he's all ready to go there. Okay. So that was our other panel. And then we've got a tiny panel to do. So here, I'm going to move it up here so you can probably see that a little bit better. We're going to grab our saying that says, "You are turtly loved." And put it right here. And this is what's great about the Stamparatus is you can make sure that you get everything lined up just the way you want it. And I have another turtle image. So let me find the happy turtle. He's happy because he's got his mouth open. He just looks happy. So we're going to put him there. And again, I'll pull this up so you can see a little closer. Okay. And we'll ink him with the black ink. Hopefully get him stamped right the first time. There we go. He says, "You are turtly loved." And then I wanted, of course, to add some cute little hearts. And all of these stamps are in this stamp set. So, you know, you don't have to worry about having multiple stamp sets for this. Just the one. All right, let me find my red again. All right. We're going to do red ink here for the hearts. Yep, perfect. And then we need a little green for his shell. So we'll get that little shell one out again. So we're going to do that. Get our Granny Apple Green pad. Oh no, you will not believe what I just did. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. Maybe you would believe it. Okay, well, we are moving forward. So, I'm going to stop. So welcome back. For those of you that were wondering what went wrong, well, I dropped my ink pad and I dropped it on my Designer Series paper on both of the things that I had already stamped. So I wasn't very happy, and then I turned the camera off and my dog threw up on my bed. So there's been some cursing and some other unsavory language going on. So I have fixed this. I've cleaned my bed and I'm ready to show you the rest of the card now. So hopefully you'll be bearing with me a little longer. One of the things I did decide to do is I went ahead and I punched out the turtle with the turtle punch. I think it'll make it easier to line things up when we get to the next part of this. So let me grab my card base, which is right here. This is that Granny Apple Green that we did at the beginning. And we did that 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 3 1/2 and 7. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere that Designer Series paper to this front panel here. Okay, and this just helps me know like that is the front panel. So it's actually the middle piece, but that will be my front panel. Okay, And then I am using the Give It a Whirl dies. And if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know I've got several videos with these. I absolutely love them. This is what I cut those scallop frames with. And we're going to use this circle to cut the opening out of here. So let me bring in my Big Shot. So yeah, this project is kind of representative of what my week has been like. Or actually, I should say it's just Monday, so I guess how my Monday is. So I'm going to put this right here. And we're going to put our plate on top of that. And then I'm going to just roll that through my machine. And hopefully you'll understand why I decided to do that this way. All right, so once we're done with that, and it doesn't cut out this little hole here. That is for the Give It a Whirl dies. And I haven't had any trouble cutting out the 2 layers either. So go ahead and give that a try. All right. Now, if that worked out, we're pretty good. Okay. So on this panel here, I'm going to put this green piece. And this is all from that Pattern Party Host Designer Series paper. So if you have an order that's $150 or more, or if you're going to place several orders within like a month, I can set you up a host code. You can put all those orders under that host code, and then at the end of the month, you can close out that host workshop, and you will get to choose from this paper. And there's other items you can choose from also, but this paper is one of my favorites. So on this panel here, we are going to put the piece that had the little streamers. So I'm not even, I didn't restamp the turtle there. I just took that same turtle I did earlier and I colored him for you. I went ahead and punched him out. We're just going to reuse him here. So a lot of times, I always make mistakes when I stamp. I'm sure no one else does that, but I will just kind of figure out a better way of doing things when that happens. And then we're going to put this little guy over here. So let's see, is this the right one? Let's see, is that, yeah, he's the right one. So see, I actually screwed him up a couple of times. The nice thing about having paper that's double-sided is even if you're messing up, like I am today, you can still do this. Okay. And then I'm going to take that little piece of Designer Series paper. Let me find it. And I'm just going to layer that down here. I'm going to put it right under him. Make it look like he's walking right along those hearts. Okay. Then I want to come back over here. I'm going to put this little piece together. And this really, I wouldn't have even done this piece, but I thought with the frog card, this was kind of a neat little thing that she did. And if you're the one that created that card, or if you know who created that card, let me know. Would love to give credit for it, but I know it's at least 10 years old, guys. At least. All right, and we're going to just put that right here. Okay, so it's coming right along. I'm going to take this little scallop frame, and this cuts perfectly. I love the way that cuts. I'll put adhesive on that. And I like to use the liquid adhesive on this just because I want to give it a little bit of wiggle room. If I don't get it on just right, I know I can wiggle that around and get it in place. And I've got one for the front too. And I like using it on the front and back just because I think that gives it a little bit more finished look. All right. So we're going to do that. And then here's our little turtle guy that we stamped and colored earlier, and then I punched him out because of my boo-boo. But I'll show you why I think this is the better way to go with this, because I do want him to peekaboo out, and I can line him up perfectly this way. So I'm just going to get him glued up there, and we know he's going to be on this piece back here. So I'm just going to kind of hold him behind this window. I'm going to hold him by the feet there. I think you can see what I'm doing there. So I've got him by the feet, because I just want that thing to show that says it's time to celebrate. And then I'm going to close that up. And that way, that's just peeking through the window. And if I need to wiggle it, again, that adhesive works really well for that. Also makes your fingers really sticky. All right. So yeah, he's a little over that way, but that's okay. So if I'd done it the other way, that probably wouldn't have worked very well. So that was good. That was a good choice. And then I have some real red ribbon. I love all these bright colors on this project. I think it really makes it look good. I'm going to tie that here. And I'm just going to do a knot. I've done bows, but for this project, we're not going to tempt fate and even try a bow today. All right. So I am very glad I didn't throw any curse words into this video. I don't think I needed to be flagged for profanity. That probably isn't good for YouTube. And I'm really glad I didn't do this as a live video. That would have been a nightmare. So I'm putting a ton of adhesive on that back panel. I'll take this whole thing and we're going to put it right there on that Pacific point. All right. So honestly, I think I need a round of applause for this one. This one took a little more out of me. So you'll see there, it's time to celebrate. We're going to open it up. You are totally loved. Happy birthday. And there we go. So a really fun little card. I hope you'll give this a try, and I hope you have more luck with it than I did. It definitely went easier for me the first couple of times I made it. But again, if you need any of the measurements or any of the supplies, be sure to check out my blog, thestampeddoc.com, and I'll have all of that available for you. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe before you go. I'd love to see you back.